Royal duty is of utmost importance and forms a fundamental part of the very fabric of the institution. Recently, an unfolding crisis involving Prince William and Queen Camilla played out before the eyes of the world, leaving Queen Camilla in tears and enduring deep humiliation. The heart of the matter centered on Prince William's rejection of Queen Camilla's request to include her eldest son, Tom Parker BS, in a major ceremonial event. This decision forced King Charles to confront an agonizing dilemma, choosing between supporting his wife or his son. Prince William is far more than a typical member of the royal family. He is the future King of England, a role laden with immense pressure and far-reaching expectations. Born on June 21, 1982, at St. Mary's Hospital in London, he was thrust immediately into the public spotlight as the firstborn child of King Charles III and the much-admired Princess Diana. From the earliest days of his life, the relentless glare of public attention made it clear that every statement, decision, and action would reflect on the monarchy as much as on his own character. With the assumption of the title Duke of Cornwall, his responsibilities expanded as he skillfully balanced the timeless traditions of the crown with the evolving demands of modernity. Over the years, his official duties have ranged from participating in diplomatic engagements to spearheading charitable initiatives focused on mental health awareness and environmental conservation. The mounting weight of these obligations grew even heavier after the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022. At that time, the contours of royal duty had changed dramatically, even before environmental causes had become mainstream concerns. Alongside his newfound responsibilities, Prince William was assigned the title Prince of Wales, which brought him closer to the throne and subjected him to heightened scrutiny by both the public and the media. Concurrently, the royal household was still reeling from the highly publicized exit of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in 2020, a departure that, accompanied by shocking allegations, plunged the entire institution into one of its most testing periods in recent history. In the midst of all this external turmoil, Prince William was viewed as a rock-solid pillar, a steady force intended to anchor an institution in crisis. Yet behind this public image, internal conflicts were steadily brewing, particularly involving Queen Camilla. Ever since she emerged as a contentious figure, originally a central part of the notorious love triangle between King Charles and Princess Diana, Queen Camilla has never been fully embraced by the public. Her transition from Duchess of Cornwall to Queen Consort, following the ascension of King Charles, only amplified the strains within the family. Although she has ardently championed causes such as literacy and the fight against domestic abuse, persistent public skepticism remained. For William, the issue was even more personal. His mother, Princess Diana, was more than a parent. She was the moral and emotional compass who deeply influenced his values. Her tragic death in 1997 left an indelible scar, one that has continued to shape his perception of duty and loyalty. While Prince William publicly recognized Queen Camilla as a vital part of the royal family, the reality behind closed doors was much more intricate. For many years, he had struggled to balance his loyalty to his late mother's legacy with his sense of duty toward his father and the monarchy. Initially, the tension was formal, almost negligible, but as Queen Camilla's influence grew, so too did William's discomfort. Bound by obligation, he masked his internal misgivings while supporting the woman he believed had once been at the root of his personal heartache. This mounting pressure finally culminated in a bold and irreversible act when the official guest list for a grand charity event at Windsor Castle was published. Tom Parker BS's name was conspicuously absent. The charity event was conceived as an evening of unity and tradition, an extravagant showcase of the monarchy's commitment to philanthropy set against the historical backdrop of Windsor Castle. Esteemed guests, royals, and influential figures were expected to attend and celebrate the institution. Yet underneath the meticulously crafted veneer of elegance and grace, tensions simmered. The event, which was supposed to underscore stability, instead morphed into a public battleground, highlighting the fierce power struggle between Prince William and Queen Camilla. At the center of the controversy was William's determined choice to bar Camilla's eldest son from the proceedings. Although Tom Parker B.S. had long mingled within royal social circles, he was never officially recognized as part of state affairs. In William's eyes, and according to long-standing royal protocol, permitting his attendance would have blurred essential boundaries, thereby setting a precedent he was unwilling to allow. In the days leading up to the event, Queen Camilla had made repeated appeals for her son's inclusion, perceiving it as a natural step toward unifying their family. For Prince William, however, the principles of unwavering tradition could not be compromised. Once the official guest list was finalized, it became clear that Tom Parker B.S. would not be joining in the festivities. Despite her persistence and several appeals, Camilla's efforts were met with the firm, uncompromising stance of Prince William. This decision not only deepened the fissure between them, but also transformed what might have remained a private disagreement into a very public display of discord. On the night of the occasion, as guests in their finest attire arrived under the magnificent gates of Windsor Castle, an incident at the entry point became emblematic of the crisis. Security, adhering to strict instructions, denied access to Tom Parker B.S., thereby subjecting him to an embarrassing ordeal. For Queen Camilla, the matter was not a simple administrative oversight. It became a public symbol of how, regardless of her high standing, her family would continually be relegated to the periphery of royal protocol. Insiders believe that Prince William's decision was not born from personal enmity, but instead from an unwavering commitment to preserving a time-honored tradition within the monarchy. The controversy struck a deep chord, as it resonated with the long-standing tension between preserving an immaculate royal lineage and welcoming extended family into the inner circle. The incident poignantly revealed that the division between personal loyalty and official duty is not as clear-cut as it might seem. Even though the public display of unity was maintained, polite exchanges of smiles and brief greetings, the underlying discord within the palace was palpable to those familiar with its inner workings. King Charles found himself in a difficult position, required to balance the dual roles of a mediator and a figure of authority. Faced with a public relations crisis that could potentially tarnish the monarchy's carefully constructed image, he recognized that both Queen Camilla and Prince William were indispensable to his reign. In a private family meeting, King Charles sought to ease the tension by urging his family members to look beyond individual grievances. In his characteristically composed manner, he reminded them that the strength of the monarchy has always depended on unity. Even as personal wounds threatened to fester, he encouraged them to prioritize their shared responsibilities. His measured words were intended to reaffirm that the future of the institution must not be jeopardized by internal discord. In the wake of the charity event, an atmosphere of uneasy reconciliation was orchestrated for public consumption. Elegant smiles and courteous interactions masked the reality of an unresolved rift. For some supporters of traditional protocols, Prince William's actions were seen as a necessary measure to uphold the royal heritage. For others, they were a stark reminder of the persistent barriers that have long divided Queen Camilla's family from the core of the institution. Across various media outlets and social platforms, opinions diverged sharply, some lauding William for his steadfast adherence to protocol, while others expressed sympathy for Tom Parker B.S. and Queen Camilla, perceiving the exclusion as a rejection of a family that had continuously struggled for acceptance. As if this bitter dispute were not enough, another significant decision further highlighted the shifting dynamics within the royal household, this one pertaining to the management of royal finances and estate affairs. Prince William's modernizing agenda became evident when he chose not to renew the contract with Annabel Elliott, a notable interior designer who had served as the lead designer for the royal estates for many years. Annabel, who is known to be the younger sister of Queen Camilla, had been responsible for decorating and updating various properties within the Duchy of Cornwall, properties that spanned across Cornwall, Wales, and the Isles of Scilly. The financial arrangement, which had provided her with substantial compensation over nearly 2 decades, included annual earnings of approximately $25,000 in fees and commissions, along with an additional $115,000 for the procurement of furniture and other interior items, as reported by the Yearly Review by September 2022. After King Charles ascended the throne and Prince William assumed the duties of the Duke of Cornwall, the decision was made to discontinue Annabel Elliott's contract for the period from 2023 to 2024. Although this move was not a critique of her performance, it signaled a significant departure from traditional practices. Insiders suggest that Prince William's decision was motivated by a desire to enhance operational efficiency and financial transparency within the Duchy of Cornwall, an approach that contrasts sharply with his father's long-standing methods. For Queen Camilla, this decision was deeply personal. Having shared a close familial bond with her sister Annabel, the termination of her contract represented not only a professional change, but also a painful loss in the context of family unity. Close associates of the Queen described her as realistic and pragmatic. Despite her profound emotional distress, she chose to internalize the blow rather than provoke open conflict, fully aware that aggressive confrontation could further erode the fragile unity of the royal household. In essence, these controversies shed light on the enduring challenges of leading an institution steeped in centuries of tradition, while simultaneously adapting to modern expectations. The constant tension between upholding long-established royal protocols and embracing necessary reforms is evident in every public appearance and private decision. Prince William, steadfast in his conviction that traditions must remain intact, continues to serve as the guardian of royal customs, even though it means making choices that pain those closest to him. In contrast, Queen Camilla finds herself caught in an ongoing battle, a struggle to redefine her role and integrate her family despite persistent barriers erected by the entrenched norms of the monarchy. The unfolding events force us to ask, what will be the long-term consequences of these internal conflicts? Will King Charles's efforts to maintain unity succeed, or is the palace more fractured than ever beneath its carefully maintained public facade? The public display at Windsor Castle was accompanied by a quiet yet perceptible undercurrent of discord, revealing that the battle between personal loyalties and institutional duty remains very much alive. This restructured narrative not only encapsulates the dramatic series of decisions and emotional setbacks that have recently shaken the royal establishment, but also underscores the delicate equilibrium that must be maintained between heritage and modernity. As the future of the monarchy continues to evolve, every choice, whether on matters of guest lists or estate management, carries the potential to influence perceptions, redefine power dynamics, and ultimately shape the destiny of an institution that has endured for 7 centuries. If you found this comprehensive analysis insightful, please continue to follow the unfolding developments within this ever-evolving saga of royal duty and personal strife.